Like you and I, a horse's physical condition changes day to day. The horse communicates that condition to you if you understand what he's saying. And you begin to understand with this free online webinar. Once you understand, you're going to win more and even more importantly, lose less. Join the free Racehorse Body Language webinar. Learn handicapping's missing link and win more and lose less. And you get instant access when you go to bodylanguagewebinar.com.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Parx on Saturday. It is the local prep for the Pennsylvania Derby, named after one of his favorite horses. It's the Grade 3 Smarty Jones Stakes at 1 1/16, and it's a race you can play with your very own DRF Bets account. 10 times the sign-up bonus when you sign up at drf.com/bet. Bet 20, get 200. Here are the field of 3-year-olds going in the Smarty Jones. It's an intriguing race. Flame Away, listen, would not be out of place in the Travers. He just ran a good solid second in the Jim Dandy last time out, going 1 1/8. He was up on a fast pace, pressed by the winner tenfold, and as is Flame Away's habit, he fought hard all the way down to the wire. 1 1/4 though in the Travers, probably a little bit too far. Yeah. This is an easier spot.
Yeah, I guess I agree with all that stuff. I mean, this is the better spot to run him in because he would have had a tough time of it in the Travers. He shows up here instead. He is the horse to beat here instead. Here's my problem. I'm not way against him in here. My problem with him is, Dan, as good as he is and as much as I like him, I just feel like he's reached the end of the line as far as his potential goes as a dirt horse. I don't think he's getting any better than he's run from this point on. Does it still make him the horse to beat in here? Yes, it does, but I don't think he's like some kind of cinch in this race. I think there's a real chance that he gets himself into another dogfight in the stretch here and maybe he doesn't come out on top.
No, I agree. I mean, in the Ohio Derby, it seemed like a good spot for him as well, and he tired very badly in the stretch. His first race after the Derby, the Timeform US Pace Projector has him on the lead. They also have him having to go fast to get the lead. He is the number 7, of course. That's Flame Away. The horse to beat, but I'm not sure if he has improved as much since that Sam F. Davis. He's basically running the same races. The 8 Axelrod came from out of it to win the Grade 3 Indiana Derby. It looked like he was in deep water when Trigger Warning, a Travers entrant, had a big lead in the stretch, but he came and got that horse late. Thought he got a really nice ride from Florent Giroux that night.
Yeah, I agree with that. He got a perfect trip in the race, and that was the kind of race where some other horses weren't as lucky as he was. He got a great trip in there. I'll give him some credit for running down Trigger Warning because that horse looked home free at about the 16th pole. This horse was game to come late and close him down. I'm not sure how much of that was Trigger Warning not finishing it off as much as it was this horse running him down, but I'll give him credit. He pulled off an upset there, and the figure says he's a contender right back.
Well, he worked out the inside-out trip in the Indiana Derby. Tide already worked out the outside trip. 5 wide going into the first turn, 4 wide entering the final turn, and he was only beaten 1.5 lengths. Yeah. An argument could be made he ran the best race.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I felt like he had a little bit of a difficult trip in the Ohio Derby, one start prior to that, and I figured he would just run better in the Indiana Derby. Considering the trip that he got, he might have run better in the Indiana Derby. I mean, he just had an impossible trip, basically, 4 or 5 wide around the track. And there, he tried, he couldn't get to the leaders. If he could get a better trip in this race, I think he has to take a small step forward here.
Diamond King, the number 5, is just a hard-trying sort. He won the Tessio at 1 1/8, 3 back, but I think that distance is a little far for him. I think he won that race on guts alone. They tried him in the Preakness. It didn't work out. And in the Ohio Derby, he just really didn't fire. He was sort of taken to the back of the pack. There wasn't a ton of pace. He came wide, and he grinded along to finish 5th. He is a solid horse, getting a little bit of class relief, and he could easily win.
Yeah, he really could. I mean, I think I'm with you. I thought he ran, fine in the Tessio considering the distance of that race. And last time, he didn't run great against better horses. I feel like the reason he grinds late in those races is because he doesn't want to go this far. I really prefer him sprinting, and I'll just be against him if they keep going along with him.
He's trained by John Service as well as the number 1 First Mondays, a perfect 2 for 2 in his career, a $450,000 yearling purchase by Curlin, who might be living up to his potential. While the horse that he beat last time out came back to only win with an 83 buyer, it must be noted that is a 4-year-old that has already won 8 times. Yeah. That was only First Monday's 2nd lifetime start. This horse has to pick it up from a buyer standpoint, but he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean, he does. We'll see what happens to him. He's stretching out in distance. It's not supposed to be a problem based on his pedigree. He's got a great post for it. I don't love either of his first 2 races. I think he ran fine both times, but I think he really has to improve to beat this race.
Transistor, the number 6, was the only 3-year-old in a weak bunch of conditioned 50 claimers at Saratoga on July the 23rd, and he finished evenly. We've seen him 15 times. I'm not sure he's a graded stakes horse.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he is. I mean, he's caught 3 wet tracks in a row since they sent him over to Rudy, so maybe that's a reason to look at him and think he can do better, but he obviously has to do better.
Formulator fact for a big price, the 2 Cowboy Knight, making the 3rd start of of the form cycle for trainer Michael Arrow. Here is the formulator fact. Past 5 years, 3-year-olds third off the layoff on dirt, 21%, a $4.67 ROI. This horse really has to improve.
Right, the formulator fact it's going to take a little more than the formulator fact to get him over the hump.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Smarty Jones Stakes. You're going with the trip horse out of the Indiana Derby. That's title ready. I'm interested a little bit in weight for it. He's going to get the class test here. His last 2 starts on dirt have resulted in solid figures. Last time out was his first race around 2 turns on dirt. And I know he wasn't beating much at Penn National, but he just inhaled that field.
He crushed that field with a solid figure. If he can back that race up, I suppose he's a contender in here.
Who are you going with?
I'll take title ready. To me, he's had 2 tough trips in a row.
I'm going to go 3-8-7-4 in the Grade 3 Smarty Jones, the local prep for the Pennsylvania Derby. Again, you can play it with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at drf.com/bet. Get 10 times the bonus. Bet 20, get 200. Approximate post time for the Smarty Jones, 4:18 Eastern. Good luck.